Hey guys, got a Lizardmen and Vampire battle report here. I'm actually on vacation in New Hampshire visiting friends and family, and instead of packing any clothes, I decided to pack Warhammer, throw my vampires together. I managed to get them out here in two big carrying cases inside my luggage, and then just carried a 8-inch cube box with the Terrorgeist in it on the plane. But very few things broke, only mostly little zombies and spear points. So I should have a couple of games out here versus Lizardmen, Dwarves, and Wood Elves. Um, that's what my friends and family out here play. But the first one we've got is a 2,000 point battle that we threw down with the Lizardmen. I'd never fought him before, so I was kind of excited about that. And we got Battle for the Pass. As you can tell right away, this isn't my normal game. I don't have all my terrain with me, so the board's just kind of what we have. They've got a couple of really cool pieces. So here's his army. He's got, I think it's 15 Saurus Warriors, Razordon, got some Chameleon Skinks there, a Stegodon, and then this is from the other side. You can see he's got a Slan with a bunch of Temple Guard around him. It looks like it's like 20 or 16. I can't really tell from here, but a bunch more warriors with his BSB in there. Then he's got a Salamander and some more Skinks. He also drops some Scouting Skinks behind my lines. Didn't really know he could do that. Here's my army. I have a really blurry picture. Yep, there it is. If we jump back, you can see I've got two groups of dogs. Then I've got 20 zombies, 25 Graveguard, and I think there are 2 level 1 Necromancers in there. Maybe just one, I can't remember. There's a Terrorgeist, a Mortis Engine. I took that because I knew it wasn't going to get shot by a cannon turn 1, so I actually felt it was safe to bring it out. At least partially safe. Then I've got a horde of ghouls with a level 3 combat vampire in there. And then he's the general. Then next to them are some zombies, 20 more. So this is his general, and you can see my general there standing with the ghouls. So on Vampire turn 1, I swing the Terrorgeist back to scream at the Skinks that showed up right behind my lines, show him what they're made of. I move my dogs forward here. They're just going to get shot. I didn't really have much else to do with them, though. Everyone else kind of moves up. That Dwarven Anvil in the middle is a Banestone, so it's +1 to wound anyone who's within 6 inches of it. That'll get a nice and bloody combat going there. But just sending the forces on either side. And then the dogs on the right move up into this. The newspaper is a Meyer, the one that gives regen, I think 6 up. So I just parked him in there. During Magic, really nothing happens. I tried to send Winds of Undeath down there for him to deal with, and I failed to cast it. Then he was just, with his dice, able to dispel Invocation to Heck twice. And so it was kind of a neutered Magic phase. I screamed and rolled really well and killed 9 of the 10 Skinks, and the look on his face was just, what the hell just happened? But it was pretty fun. And that's really it for Vampire turn 1. So we go to Lizardmen turn 1. He moves up. He's got really short range on the Skinks. So he moves up just to shoot the dogs. Everyone else just kind of moves up. I think his Slan held back. Can't quite remember, but everyone else just kind of moves up. See, during Magic, it was 7 dice to 6. I dispelled Wissen's Wild Form on his warriors. And then I actually threw the Dispel Scroll out. He cast Amber Spear, the jacked up version of Amber Spear, right at the Mortis Engine. And I thought, you know what, I didn't pack that guy just to come all this way and have him die on turn 1 like he always does. So I used the Dispel Scroll a little early, but I wanted to see what he could do. I think that's about it. You know, the other thing to note, I really had never fought a Slan before, Lizardmen, but the ability to cast to get an extra free die every spell you cast that they have is just insane. He's got a great Magic phase, and then he's got some other stuff that just go together really well, so he's a force to be reckoned with. It was pretty crazy. Let's see, during shooting, I think the Razordon there killed 2 of the dogs. His Skinks shoot 4 of the dogs over here. His Salamander breathes fire and gets like a 10 on the roll, so he's able to get both groups. I think he kills a couple Graveguard and a couple zombies, not a big deal. And then I think the Stegodon's large boat just straight up misses. Nice picture there. And we go into Vamp 2. I forgot to charge my dog on the side, so this is all just normal movement. The Terrorgeist tries to fly away, he doesn't care about him, but you know he's too far away from the general, so this is as far as he could get. So I'll just keep him close enough that he can still scream and get the points for that. Otherwise, I kind of protect my Mortis Engine by moving it behind the Banestone. You know, I'm ethereal, I can fly around it all I want. And then I'm moving these zombies up so that if the warriors engage zombies, then I can countercharge with the grave guard once the zombies are all gone. As you can see, I forgot to charge my dog, so he's just running away. And then my horde moves up, and then I put the zombies so that when those dogs die, hopefully from the warriors, they can get tar pitted up by the zombies there. And the zombies will even be in the regen mire, so that could be good. During Magic, it was 7 dice to 6. I brought the Cursed Tome, or the Cursed Book, so he dispelled Soul Blight from it. And then Invocation of Heck was dispelled, and another Winds of Undeath was also dispelled. Just everything pretty much got taken care of. I think this is a picture of... Oh yeah, this is during Screaming. I was actually close enough to scream at the Mortis Engine. Took out 4 warriors. That was pretty cool. The Terrorgeist Scream took the last skink out, as you would expect. And that's what the board looks like at the end of my turn 2. So Lizardman turn 2, he swings his skinks around to shoot the dog. The Salamander moves up. Stegodon charges in to the horde there. We'll see what he can do. Skinks move up. And I think he failed the charge on the dogs. Or actually he probably didn't. They look close, but I think that's where they were. I don't think they did anything. So during Magic, it was 7 dice to 6. He cast Wisson's Wild Form on the Stegodon, but I dispelled it. And then he threw an Amber Spear at the Mortis Engine and did 3 wounds to it. Luckily, it's still around, though. During shooting, I don't think I have a picture of it. The Skinks kill the last dog. The Salamander cooks 4 zombies, and the Razordon cooks the other dogs on the other side. Or doesn't really cook them, he just throws whatever he throws at them. During close combat, my Vampire goes before the Stegodon and just obliterates it. Absolutely wipes it out. It was pretty great. Alright, so here's the Razordon shooting zombies. And you can see the Skinks killed the dog, and the Salamander breeds on some more zombies. And that's about it. So we go to Vampire turn 3. Terrorgeist moves up as far as he can. You know, he's kind of got that short movement now. But that's where he is. Zombies move up. They're going to keep doing the same plan I was doing. Everyone else moves up here on the side. Mortis Engine sticks over here to this side. It's by the warriors. And then I charge the with my horde. I charge the Razordon group, and the zombies fail a charge against the warriors down there. So during Magic, it was like 3 dice to 2, and I just got my Invocation of Heck dispelled, so wasn't much going on there. During close combat, I slaughtered the Razordon and reformed, no problem. I think that was all that happened this turn. Yeah, that was the only really combat and shooting I had. So quick turn, just wiped them out, reformed, and I'm ready to move in on that side. Hopefully, can just tar pit those warriors up. And just a picture of what the board looks like. Then we go to Lizardman turn 3. So he finally decides, all right, charge the zombies, get it done. His Skinks move up so that they can shoot the Terrorgeist, which I'm not very happy about. And then everyone out here just kind of reforms to start, you know, they know where the threat's coming from, so we're all just going to meet here on the other side of this Banestone. So during Magic, let's see, what did he cast? He shot Amber Spear at the Mortis Engine, and I dispelled it. And then he cast Flock of Doom. I think he did that first. I think he cast Flock of Doom on the ghouls first, and I let that through. It only just killed 1. During shooting, they shot 4. They got 4 poison hits on the Terrorgeist, so he's sitting on 4 wounds now, which is not good. Means he's getting close to death, but hopefully he can scream those guys away. The Salamander kills a couple of zombies, which I guess I didn't mark on there. And he shot with those poison attacks from the skink. That's what it was, at the Mortis Engine, and hit 5 times. And I regened 4 of the 5, which was pretty great because that thing was just about to go. So I was very happy about that. And I don't believe we actually have any close combat. So we're going to Vampire turn 4. I fly my Terrorgeist as far as he can over here to scream at those skinks as well. I charge the zombies into the Salamander, and then I'm just moving the Graveguard up more. On this side, it's the charge that I wanted. I got the Mortis Engine into the side of the BSB's group, and it's the BSB with the Warriors, and then I charged my Vampire and his Horde in, was able to go right on the side of the Skinks. At the beginning of the turn, the Mortis Engine pulsed and killed 5 of the Skinks there. I think it killed 1 of the Warriors. I think that was about it, but it was nice to get that damage done, and then it put out regen. This is what it just looks like down here. You can see they had chipped away a bunch of the zombies. And then over here, I guess we go into magic. This is kind of a picture after. But Curse of the Midnight Wind, I tried to put it on the Warriors from the book. That got dispelled. I was able to get Invocation of Heck off from the Lord, which healed the Mortis Engine and a couple of the ghouls. Then the Necromancer tried to cast Invocation of Heck, and he miscast, which healed the Terrorgeist 1. I think total 2, because he used the Vampire ability. And then healed the Graveguard, but then did a large round template with the Strength 10 hits, and both Necros ended up taking wounds from that. During shooting, the Terrorgeist screams and kills 9. I rolled boxcars, but that little skink rolled Snake Eyes and held. Oh, by the way, Cold-Blooded is a fantastic ability that the Lizardmen have. That, I mean, he was just not breaking anywhere. Others shooting, the Banshee scream and kill 1 warrior from the Mortis Engine, which was nice. So in close combat, here's what happens. The Mortis Engine does a couple impact hits, and then I think it was the BSB just killed the Mortis Engine, which blew up in the middle of close combat and hit literally every unit on the table, with the exception of that 1 skink that held. It did more damage to me than him, but at the end of it, when the Vampire went and just went after all the rank and file, we won. The BSB was there who held, and everyone else had just taken damage pretty much across the board. Thankfully, I had the regen from the Mortis Engine when it went off, but it was pretty devastating. And during close combat, they kill the zombies and reform. This shows that the Skinks got just devastated by the explosion as well. And then at the end, my zombies were able to kill I think it might have been the explosion that killed the salamander. I can't imagine the zombies did it, but basically at the end, these zombies couldn't finish off the last skink remaining. And the Terrorgeist is looking down at the 1 skink who just won't break. Here we go. We go into Lizardmen 4. The Temple Guard make their charge into the flank of my Horde, but the Warriors behind them do not. So that was kind of nice for me. This is what it looks like when they come together. During Magic, it's 5 dice to 4. So this is where we had to look at the rules. He cast Transformation of Kadan because he had Lure Beasts, turned into a Mountain Chimera, and miscast. So then he used the cupped hands to throw the miscast on my Lord and rolled a 1, which means that the miscast doesn't come to me, it goes back to him. And I forget exactly what we rolled on the chart, but it was going to be bad. And that's when I cracked open the errata, and we found out that Slan can't they can't use Transformation of Kadan. So while it was going to be some awesome back and forth of who's going to get the miscast, we ended up rewinding it and undoing the spell. So he actually ended up doing Wisson's Wild Form on the Temple Guard, which I dispelled, but then he was able to get through Savage Beast of Horos and Pants Impenetrable Pelt on that BSB character. But that was okay. I didn't have any dice, but I dispelled Wisson's Wild Form because I knew I was going to go first with my Lord there, and I knew he has Quick Blood and Red Fury, so I knew I was just, regardless of how buff that guy was going to be, I was probably going to punk him. So that was Magic. During his shooting, the skink misses the Terrorgeist, so the Terrorgeist is still around. And at the end of close combat, I pace the BSB before he gets to go, even with all those buffs. But I do lose combat and crumble by 4. But I was able to make my leadership and reform to meet him, so they're not in the flank. So we go to Vampire turn 5. This is a pretty quick turn because it looked like he was going to lose. But at the end of it, this is kind of out of order, but the Terrorgeist screams, kills the last skink. The zombies kill the last other skink from the salamanders there. And during the big combat in the middle happens. I was able to throw 1 die from the book to get Enfeebling Foe off, but that got dispelled. Invocation of the Heck from the Necromancer heals the ghouls, the terrorgeist, and the graveguard, which was pretty good. He got off a big version of it. Um, and then I have Enfeebling Foe went off, and that 2 Temple Guard died, but that must be wrong. Basically, it doesn't really matter. I got a heal off this phase, and that went well. And then during the shooting, I was able to scream the last skink away. And during close combat, I threw down a challenge, or I issued a challenge, and the Slan declined, which I'm not really sure what that meant. We just didn't have him. I mean, he goes to the back, but I don't know if that triggered any funky rules. We just played with it. But at the end, because he declined, my Vamp and Ghouls went first. That's one thing that Lizardmen have going against them. They have really bad initiative. I think it's 1. So between my combat, Red Fury, Always Strike First Vampire, re-rolling, and the Ghouls, they just pasted everyone but the Slan. And the Slan rolled to see if he was going to stick around. And for the first time in the entire game, Cold-Blooded failed him, and the Slan broke, and I ran him down. So that was the game. I took a picture here just to show the matchup, and then finally this is what happened. I knocked that big fat frog off his palanquin. But it was a fun game. I had a lot of luck that went my way, but in the end it would have been, I think my lord was just going to take that Slans group out pretty much no matter what, but I had, a whole force of Graveguard coming up from behind. He had Temple Guard, which I was able to keep out of the battle the whole time. So we each had a good group, although I think my Graveguard probably would have been able to get there first and help out if things went wrong. I had 2 more Necromancers in case my Lord and that Horde died. I would have been able to not crumble while the Graveguard got in. But it was pretty close. It was definitely a good game, and I got my first win with the new Vampires. And I definitely gained a healthy fear and respect for the Lizardmen. I'm telling you, they've got some amazing magic ability, and their guys are nothing to sneeze at. If they can get over their initiative problem, those guys with Cold-Blooded aren't going to break very often, and they've got some pretty good core, and those poison shots from the skinks really hurt. So I like the Lizardmen. I was pretty impressed with them. Thought it was a good game. My brother-in-law was a great sport, and it went back and forth a couple times, and in terms of who was having the best luck, but in the end, the frog lays on the ground. Thanks for watching, everyone.